What's up, family? Trail here, and we finally have our first stimulus check update of the year. We have seen a lot throughout the last few years since the pandemic in 2020, and considering the country is still shaken up and Americans are still struggling, it's good to see we may have additional stimulus checks coming in the near future. We pretty much can expect to see recent checks going out to Californians as they have offered multiple stimulus checks within the last 6 months, and some of those checks are still being distributed as of today. But today we have a new $900 stimulus check that was just approved a few days ago. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and discuss it today in this video. But before we get started, you guys already know what to do. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel as well as hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Now let's go ahead and start with the video. Starting off, Kevin McCarthy has finally been elected to be the House Speaker after an historic battle to get there. Yes, guys, he has been fighting for several days now in order to become the House Speaker since House Speaker Nancy Pelosi decided that she would not run for re-election. Yes, guys, Kevin McCarthy, he finally won, like I stated, after 15 attempts of votes coming from the GOP, in which a lot of them have pretty much voted against McCarthy. But it seems like he actually made a bargaining with them in order for them to him to receive the votes, and it looks like it actually worked. But anyways, Kevin McCarthy is now the 55th Speaker of the House. But anyways, guys, I just want to share that information with you. Moving on, guys. Hey, there is some crazy chaos going on in Brazil right now, and it's sort of reminding us of what actually happened here in the States on January the 6th during that riot on Capitol Hill. Yes, guys, that is exactly what is happening in Brazil. And as you can see right here on the screen, photos and videos of the chaos that is going on right now, similar to what happened to Americans on January the 6th during the Trump rally. But in Brazil, guys, they are now protesting in regards to the former president. I don't know how to say his name, but it looks like it's Jair Bolsonaro. Please forgive me for that. But anyways, guys, this particular riot that is happening right now, or what they are calling a clash with police during the protest outside of the Planalto Palace building in Brasilia, Brazil. This started on Sunday. And yes, guys, it looks like this is pretty much even worse than what we've seen on January the 6th, in which these individuals that are protesting have now broken into government buildings and they are trying to take them over. It says right here that supporters stormed Brazil's Congress on Sunday with complaints of a stolen election. And the demonstrators broke through police barriers. They also smashed windows and they invaded government buildings. The actions were similar to those on January the 6th by supporters of the former president Donald Trump, who was praised Bolsonaro. But anyways, guys, that is just the latest information on this. I'm sure we will get more information sometime throughout the day, in which I will see the need to actually update you on that news as well. But anyways, guys, Brazil is dealing with some of the same issues that we dealt with here in the States a few years ago. Moving on, guys, I don't know if you guys caught this story, but it was pretty shocking, and I definitely wanted to at least bring it up to you this particular time. But anyways, guys, last week there was a teacher in Virginia in which she was shot in the classroom by a 6-year-old student. Can you believe that, guys? A 6-year-old can actually pull the trigger of a gun? I'm being facetious, guys. But anyways, it does say right here that a Virginia teacher was injured after being shot in a classroom by a 6-year-old student. According to some officials, an elementary school teacher suffered injuries after being shot on Friday in a Virginia first grade classroom by a 6-year-old. And yes, guys, no students were actually injured at Rich Neck Elementary School in Newport, Virginia, but the altercation was between a 6-year-old student who did have the firearm and the teacher. Yes, guys, they are saying that Drew said that a call was received about a shooting at about 2 p.m. and authorities responded within minutes. He said there is not a continued threat to the community. But there is a huge issue going on within the school. In a statement saying that, look, we did not have a situation where someone was going around the school shooting. We had a situation in one particular location where a gunshot was fired, according to the press release. And as you can see, guys, I'm sure that these children were frightened because of this information. And I'm also assuming that the parents was as well. This is very crazy, guys. I can't even imagine getting a call or seeing it on the news where one of my children actually attend, in which an actual shooting was going on, guys. But anyways, guys, they are saying at this particular time that further investigation was being dealt with in regards to the handgun that was used by the student. I'm sure they're trying to figure out how this 6-year-old was able to actually get a hold of the gun, let alone being able to bring this gun into an elementary school. But anyways, guys, we do have some updated information in regards to this, and they're saying that the Virginia shooting of the teacher by the 6-year-old was not accidental, according to some authorities. And yes, guys, that particular boy is in custody after shooting wounds teachers in the abdomen during an altercation, according to some authorities. The apparently deliberate shooting of a Virginia school student by a gun-carrying 6-year-old student has shocked many across the United States, causing outrage and horror even in a country long used to regular school shootings that are rare elsewhere in the world. And the mayor said that he considers this particular incident, the first recorded in U.S. school shooting of 2023, a red flag for our country. And yes, he's also said that, look, I do think that after this event, there is going to be a nationwide discussion on how these sorts of things can be prevented. So again, guys, yes, this is tragic news. And the teacher, by the way, Abby, she is 25 years old, and she is now trending in a positive direction, which is some good news. We are glad to see that there were no deaths from this particular shooting. But anyways, guys, it does beg the question, what can we do? What can we do to prevent guns in our schools? We need to protect our children, especially after we recently seen where multiple states are now making carrying guns a legal thing without having a gun license or things like that. So I know here in my local state of Texas, you no longer have to have a gun permit in order to carry a firearm, whether it's concealed or whether it's not concealed. It doesn't matter. You can actually go to the store and buy one and walk around with it hanging on your hip in the state of Texas. But anyways, guys, what do you think about the government as well as local authorities being able to control the issue of guns in this country? We need to protect our schools. We need to protect our children, and we need to figure out what can we do to prevent things like this from happening. But anyways, guys, if you have any ideas or suggestions, please comment them down below. I am curious to read all of them to know exactly what you guys are thinking about this particular situation. But anyways, guys, I at least wanted to provide that information to you, and I'm glad to see that this teacher is not necessarily in huge danger at this time. She will make a full recovery. And then also, guys, we did see on the weekend where President Biden officially visited the border, the southern border that is, to Mexico, in which it says that he visited on the El Paso, Texas side in his first trip to the southern border as the President of the United States. And yes, guys, you can see right here where he was met by Governor Greg Abbott of Texas, in which I do want to tell you about that in just a moment. But President Biden arrived in El Paso, Texas on Sunday as part of his first trip to the United States-Mexico border as the president, because of the major influx of migrants and asylum seekers that are arriving at the border. And not just the Texas border, guys. We are talking about all of the border from pretty much Texas all the way through Florida. But anyways, guys, Republicans who made border security one of their top campaign issues in 2022 midterm elections have argued that President Biden's lack of a visit is evidence that the president is unserious about addressing the illegal immigration across the southern border. But now it has taken the president 2 years to visit the border. The biggest question is, what is he going to do? What changes is he going to make to prevent all of this influx from these migrants into the United States? what is President Biden going to do? We need to find that answer out, because as of lately, we are seeing more migrants coming from Cuba and Nicaragua, as well as Haiti. So anyways, guys, not just Mexico, we are also seeing other countries trying to migrate into the United States as well. And we need to do something about it, because the governor of Florida is also calling for assistance to get a hold on these migrants crossing over into Florida as well. So anyways, guys, I hope that this particular visit is bringing change in the right direction, and we'll just have to see what gets transpired over the next few days from his visit to El Paso, to the Mexican border. But anyways, guys, I do want to briefly show you about what actually happened when President Biden actually met with Governor Greg Abbott. And as you can see from this particular report, Governor Greg Abbott hand delivered a letter directly to President Biden at the border visit. Now, it says right here that Governor Greg Abbott today hand delivered a letter to President Joe Biden upon his arrival in El Paso for his first trip to the border, calling on him to do his job and to secure the border by enforcing federal immigration laws. Now, in this particular letter, the governor provided 5 specific actions that the president can immediately take to secure the border and restore order to an out-of-control immigration crisis. In a statement saying that, look, this chaos is a direct result of your failure to enforce the immigration laws that Congress enacted. According to this particular letter, he said that your open border policies and emboldening the cartels who grow wealthy by trafficking deadly fentanyl and even human beings, Texans are paying an especially high price for the failure, sometimes with their very lives, as local leaders from your own party will tell you. If given the chance, on behalf of all Americans, I implore you, secure our border by enforcing Congress's immigration laws. That is exactly what Governor Greg Abbott, as well as those other individuals that signed this particular letter, it said in the letter that it was given to President Biden. And yes, it says that the governor hand delivered the letter to President Biden after greeting him on the tarmac at the El Paso International Airport. This visit marks the president's first trip to the southern border since being sworn into office almost 2 years ago. So again, guys, like I said, we have a huge issue in regards to the immigration issues in this country, and not just in Texas, but all of the southern borders. And yes, guys, Governor Greg Abbott wanted to make the first step up to President Biden to make it official that President Biden is not doing his job, and he needs to secure the border right now, because the American people deserve this, and they need this, and the United States needs this as well. So anyways, guys, these are just some other bullet points that were also mentioned in the letter, which I won't read them right now, but they all talk about all of the issues that they're dealing with the border immigration issues, and why they need to go ahead and fulfill the immigration laws that have been put in place by the previous administration under Donald Trump. But anyways, guys, that is just the latest information. I'm sure we will find out more later on this week, and I will get back to you on that as soon as possible. And last but not least, guys, we finally have some stimulus update news that we need to talk about, because we do have in one particular state where they recently just passed legislation which is going to be offering or sending out $900 stimulus checks to these local residents in the respective state. And yes, we are talking about the state of Maine. It says right here that Mainers are expected to receive $450 heating relief checks following a recent legislative approval by the governor. Yes, guys, it says that Mainers could start receiving $450 checks by the end of the month of January, following the legislature's approval that happened last Wednesday. And it says that the $474 million plan will send the checks to single tax filers making $100,000 or less, or $200,000 or less for couples filing jointly. An estimated 880,000 Mainers will receive the checks, which will mean $900 for most families of 2 parents, of course. But anyways, guys, in addition, the package has $40 million in supplemental funding for the Low-Income Heating Assistance Program, or better known as the LAHEAP program. Also, $10 million for emergency fuel assistance, and $21 million to support emergency housing and shelters in the state of Maine. So yes, guys, recently, as of last week, I believe on Wednesday, the House voted 114 to 29 in support of this followed by the Senate voting 24-10, which means that the bill actually passed, in which it was sent over to the governor, and Governor Janet Mills, who proposed the legislation, signed the bill late on Wednesday night or afternoon, just hours before being sworn in for a second term. So anyways, guys, like I said, the state of Maine is projected to be receiving these up to $900 in stimulus checks because of this latest piece of legislation that was just passed in the state of Maine. And hopefully, guys, like I said, hopefully we will continue to see more stimulus checks or relief checks being offered later on in the year, hopefully in the near term, because Americans are still struggling, guys. But anyways, guys, I am definitely excited about this because we talked about this last year, and finally this bill was brought for a vote, and it ended up passing and getting signed by the governor. But anyways, guys, I hope all this information in this video was helpful to you today. Well, anyways, guys, hey, that's all I have for you today, but feel free to check out some of the items down below because it is some great ways for you to be able to support this channel, as well as an opportunity for you to receive the Amazon Prime membership for free for 30 days. Or if you have a student in your household, you can actually get the Amazon Prime membership for 6 months for free. Again, if you are interested, those links will be down below in the description. But anyways, hey, if you enjoyed today's content and you want to see more, go ahead, subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. And if you like today's video, then go ahead and hit the like button for us. It really helps out this channel, as well as it tells YouTube to share this video with others. But anyways, guys, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.